definitely harvest season. Derek has brought home 2 trays of potatoes. We harvested some the other day, the first ones, and now every day he'll bring a couple of trays like this as each plant is ready for harvesting. We have a love-hate relationship with harvest time, because as much as we love having all the vegetables, you have to make the most of each vegetable. You can't let it go to waste. So like cucumbers, for example, we give away quite a few cucumbers, but on top of that I will pickle some to keep them so that we have them for when they stop growing, because cucumbers keep on coming. And the gem squash are absolutely abundant. It's been 2 days since Derek went, and he's brought home all these today, and he says there'll be on average about this 5-6 a day now, every couple of days as they start to ripen. But what's good about them is that they will store fairly well just as they are. It is harvest season of a lot of vegetables, let me tell you. I get overwhelmed sometimes at harvest time, but Derek's brought home some cabbages. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to slice them up, and I'm going to actually jar them, put them in jars, because my freezer is getting full even though I vacuum sealed the last lot. So that's the plan with these.
These giants.
There's onions as well, and what's nice about onions is that you just hang them up to dry, and once they dry they will store for many months. So I'm not too worried about the onions. There's like 3 or 4 rows of these, and Derek's hung them up nicely to dry. This year we even got some red ones, not as many as the white ones, but lots of onions. So yeah, the onions are great. You don't have to do much with them. This is some of the potatoes that Derek brought home. So what he's done now is just put them out on a top, because you want them that they must dry nicely, and then once they completely dry they will store so well. And again, like onions, they keep for many months, but it's just to get them nicely dried out. No water. So yeah, no water on them. So that's what's happening with them. And they're outside. You just put them outside on a tap. We live in Manchester, so when the rain comes, we'll be running in to bring these in. A little update while I'm outside here on our grapes. Can you see we have one big bunch and we have another small bunch in there somewhere. Can't quite see, but this one we're protecting it because it's right near the gate. We don't want it to fall or be knocked over or something, so we've just put a little bag around it to protect it. But yes, we finally get to taste what this grapevine can produce. Like I've been saying, the cucumbers keep on coming. I gave my friend 4 of these. I gave the neighbor a couple, and still they keep on coming. So I'm going to make a salsa with them, some of them, and some I will put in some vinegar and store them. So yeah, I will try and use them, and people will come and collect them. So we have squashes, and guess what? The tomatoes have started. Now I don't want to lie, nothing tastes as good as a nice fresh tomato. When my granddaughter wakes up, this will be one of our little snacks. Some tomatoes, so they are here, good to go. When they become too many, I start jarring them up, but at the minute we'll eat them fresh. We'll use them for cooking, we'll have them in salads. They're just absolutely awesome. So because it is that time of the year, harvest time, it is also time for me to bring out my canning book. So I brought it out today because I thought I must have a look to see what other things I can do with all of these wonderful vegetables that we have. So I use this book, the Ball canning book, and then as well as this, I do go on the YouTube and I look at a few people. One lady is called Homestead Heart, and she's amazing at teaching and training you and what to do to preserve all your wonderful vegetables that you have grown. So this is where I'm at. It's that time of the year, canning time. I have preserved some of the cucumbers, and it's cucumbers that we grew along with the red onions that we grew, salt, pepper, and some red chili flakes. And because they're in vinegar, they will just keep in the fridge like this for weeks. For weeks they'll keep in the fridge. So yeah, that's one way that I preserve the vegetables that I grow. Just wanted to update you on how I preserve the extra cabbages, because you can't really eat everything in one go when they're all ripening at the same time, and I don't have as much freezer space as I would love to have. But something that I'm trying this year, and it seems to be working perfectly fine, is that I am canning the cabbage. So all I do is I chop it up, I parboil it literally for 3 minutes in coarse salt, sea salt, and then I put the cabbage in, like I say, for 3 minutes, switch it off. Then they go into the jars, and I then can them for 45 minutes. And they are fine. We had some on the weekend. I've eaten twice now, because this is not the first lot I've done. I've eaten twice out of them, and they are now shelf stable, so I don't need to put them in a fridge or to put them in the freezer. They will just sit in my pantry as they are, and every time I need a jar of cabbage, I can just go open one, drain the water, because I've topped it up with a little bit of salt water that they had parboiled in, and yeah, and it's good to go. So just another way to use all the produce that is coming off the allotment at the minute. This is another way that I preserve the extra tomatoes, because like I say, you can't freeze and can't keep everything in the fridge, so you got to find alternative ways to preserve your vegetables. And I make them into pesto sauce, which is just on the stove, and then I jar every bottle, seal it, and it'll keep up to a year, as long as I don't open them. When you open them, you just got to open it and use it, or open it and keep it in the fridge. But it's another wonderful way of preserving all the vegetables that Derek has grown. Don't forget to find your happy place, whatever that is to you. Find your happy place, people. Love yous. Bye.